Just doing a few servicing jobs on here, grazing and whatnot. The pivot point on this little thing's starting to, the bearing in here, there's no thrust washer or whatever's meant to be in there. It's got quite a bit of movement, but I'm finding pretty much every pin and bush, no matter how much you graze it, the pin will flog out at a rapid rate of knots. I don't know if it's just because of the quality of them or what. I've replaced a couple with old chrome ram shafts, and they've been wearing really well. Some of the welds and things, like on hose, for hose clamps, they just break off. I've got a permanent fix on here now. But yeah, keep the grease up, and I just I can only put it down to the quality of the pins why it's wearing. I think this bucket's just about had to stay. Probably had to stay about 2 years ago actually. It's been really good using that in here. You can pick the boxthorn up and move them out. I can't really get in amongst the trees like that, but you can spray them, no worries. But I've definitely got my work cut out for me here. It goes right back over that top of the hill, and then there's another clump. You can see those trees on the horizon. I'm estimating about probably 120 hours or so. But unless you want to knock all these trees down, I don't really see the alternative, because this little machine gets in here really well and it's pretty tidy. I'll snap a few branches off so I can get as close as I can with the cab, but it hasn't worked out for me so much recently. I've smashed that windscreen out there, which makes it good in the rain. Smashed every light. They're just cheap plastic crap, like that's never going to last. I've disconnected all the electrics, like the wipers, because the wiring's really piss poor in here. Caught it on fire there once before. Anyway, you get what you pay for. Just about had a log go through, or a stick really, go through the intercooler here. Didn't provide any better access for me. These lights don't work. Air filters and things like that, the air filters, tyres, oil filters, they're all a real prick to get. And the manufacturer, well, not the manufacturer, the importer to Australia is no longer running, so they I've sort of just been making do. You can get all parts for the motor and whatnot for a company online, but as for everything else, you really got to pull it all apart and measure everything and just sort of order it as you can. Drive shaft, must have load on it. All the bearings are flogged out. Hose clamps, they don't last too long. Zip ties hold this thing together. Anyway, like I say, you get what you pay for. Finished servicing the little loader. Starting to clear a few more Boxthorn, but I've got to sort of watch what I'm doing out here because I've got the union on site. They've been standing around for the last 15 minutes watching me. Inquisitive buggers. On the little fellas. Cheeky, very cheeky. Better make sure I don't hit this fence. Thought I'd climb up here and show you just how thick this boxthorn, or some call it briar bush. I don't know if it's the same thing, but that's just what they call it. Boxthorn, it gets thick. That little area there turned into two massive piles. you can see just how much land's lost. Cattle can't get shade, and it ends up just being filled with rabbit holes under here, which is not good for the loader. You won't be able to see it from here, but just like over there, there's small stumps all through this and making it an absolute nightmare trying to stay in the seat of this little machine. But just got to try and go slow and find them, work around them, because they're a lot of hardwood stumps and they're cut off so short. This little machine doesn't really budge them much, so I'm not here to clear stumps, I'm here to clear briar bush, so they're just staying right where they are unless they come out easy like that one. Dry, dusty and very hot to absolutely blowing the gale. Cooled off to 24 degrees. Not a bad change to have, but I didn't want to be in amongst these trees while it was blowing like that. Don't know what they're like. There's plenty of broken branches off the ground and on the ground and whatnot. So, but anyway, the big brown snake I just saw is cruising from the fence over here. I think there might be a cattle trough over there somewhere, so probably getting some water. And anyway, he snuck up on me while I was going to move the GoPro camera. I looked over on the left hand side, and I just had this feeling I was being watched. And here's this fella, he had his head up off the ground about a foot. And they don't usually bother me, but when they got their head up off the ground, they usually mean business. So I wasn't sticking around to find out. I took the necessary steps, plenty of them, big ones. But anyway, just having a bit of a rest here. I'll do a couple more hours here, and well, this rain shouldn't last long. It doesn't look like it's real thick in the clouds. So. Places like this where you got all the rabbit holes, rabbit warrens, puts a whole heap of stress on this machine when you're trying to push and dropping wheels like that, so I really don't like doing it, but got to get in here and clear these Boxthorn out, otherwise they're just going to regrow. That's always cool to see. Well, I've got about 8 hours on the machine in this patch here. There's a fair bit of mucking around, a lot of stumps on the ground. That little machine just can't handle them, so ones like this, you hit them, and that sends you through the windscreen, makes you swear and curse. You can see these ones, they're up nice and high. You can see them easy enough, but you probably see from the video that from in the cab you got zero visibility. So you're just sort of pushing in blind, but there's a fence line just on the other side of these big trees here. I pushed in a road up through there just so I could come in from a few different angles, and I should have that probably bowled in the next day and a half. This patch, and I've got 2 more to do. I don't know how big they are yet. I did go for a drive past them, but sort of it's hard to see from the outside. Once you get in there, like there's a lot of these close trees, that makes it pretty hard. But anyway, I don't know what he's going to do with these massive piles here. That's going to go up. You'll see that fire from space, but there he is over there for him. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There'll be another one down the end. Probably 6 big piles. That'll keep him on his toes when he gets rid of them. Anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching.